We learned at SEC Media Days this past week that the horns down gesture will not be a penalty this upcoming season. Is that a good thing for college football? Is that a good thing for Texas fans? How do we feel about it when it comes to the SEC overall? We'll talk about that right now, but if you are a Texas Longhorn fan, shoot, if you're a college football fan, lock in right here. Make sure you're subscribed to the On3 YouTube channel because this show, The Hard Count, baby, I mean, we are just churning out the college football content that you want to see, want y'all a part of it, so make sure you're subscribed here. Also, follow me on the Instagram and Twitter channels at JD Piquel. We appreciate you for that. So, again, to rehash this thing, the horns down gesture will not be a penalty during the 2024 college football season as Texas moves into the SEC. Now, for context, this gesture was a penalty when they played in the Big 12 Conference. And rules are funny, right? The way that we implement rules and the way that we create rules are just a little bit funny because there's some rules that really, quite frankly, make no sense. Rules, in general, are supposed to serve a purpose, to protect us, to protect those around us, to have things be fair. This rule never really made a whole lot of sense. I think you had the question oftentimes you were asking yourself, if you're a Texas fan or a college football fan, period, what purpose does that rule really serve? Texas not getting their feelings hurt? Is that what that serves? Does it helps everybody's emotions stay in check? Make sure that Texas doesn't have any issues with their self-esteem when they don't get that gesture thrown at them? Come on now. I always felt a little bit silly. And it's not so much the idea of that gesture being taunting, more so than the black and white of if you see that gesture during a game, it's a penalty. It never made sense to me because there's a ton of other hand signs we would see during games. Heck, I understand that sometimes there's a penalty attached to it when it's egregiously taunting, but like you see Florida with the Gator Chomp, feels like their opponents do that pretty much every time they are in Gainesville or whether they're playing Florida, like whatever it is, Florida gets a lot of the Gator Chomp. You don't see the penalty being thrown for that automatically. I mean, heck, Texas A&M, you don't see the thumbs down if you were to see that throughout the course of a football game be an automatic penalty. So why is the horns down automatic penalty a penalty? My first reaction to this was good. Good. This is not a penalty. That's a win for common sense. Because when we talk about the impact of this and we talk about the impact of the horns down gesture, like, again, what purpose does this really serve? What are we trying to accomplish here? Like, if this is something that bothers you, if the horns down thing bothers you, that gesture really forces you to lose sleep at night, this might not be for you. Because college football is imperfect, it's intense, at times it's irreverent. Mocking is in a lot of ways a part of the culture of college football when it comes to fan base. Like, that's what you sign up for here. And I'll say this, if the goal is to try and protect people's feelings, one, that doesn't align with college football. Two, there's a lot more going on within college football, within the white lines of college football that maybe need to be addressed if that's where we're drawing the line. A hand sign offends you a little bit. There are things said during the game about your family members or your mom or how you look or whatever. Like, I mean, everything is on the table when it comes to trash talking playing college football. All right? Now, there's two voices that we're hearing most loudly in this discussion around the horns down situation, all right? The first is the SEC home turfers. And what they're saying is, hey, you're not in the Big 12 anymore. We're not going to kiss that burnt orange ring of yours. Come on, bring it on. You're playing with the big boys now. Horns down, horns up, don't matter. You're in the SEC now. All that coddling the Big 12 was doing to y'all, we're not doing that here. That's what the SEC home turfers are saying. Now, here's the other thing that needs to be mentioned a little bit more, I think, frequently and maybe with a little bit more volume. Texas fans, the majority of them at least, the rational Texas fans, they never wanted the horns down gesture to be a penalty. They never once, I think, had an actual issue with the horns down situation. You want to know why? Because whenever that penalty flag was thrown for Texas in favor of someone making a horns down gesture to them, it felt like they were having someone come to their rescue. Like, to me, the comp is like whenever you were in school and you were either getting in a fight or being bullied and your parents would call the school or they go to the school. And it's like, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you're actually making this worse. You're making me look soft. I can handle this. You're embarrassing me. The Texas fans never once actually wanted this to be a penalty, the majority of them at least. Now, there's extreme sides of all fan bases. There's that 10% that's, a little bit louder on Twitter and a little bit louder on, the message boards that will make their opinions felt. I'm not telling you that nobody ever had a problem with the horns down gesture, but I'm telling you, for the most part, not just the SEC home turfers are saying good. The Texas faithful are saying good. We don't want special treatment. We don't want to have this big target on our back of, do the horns down thing. That bothers them. It gives it more power when you make it a penalty. And so for this to not be a penalty, it's a win for common sense. It's a win for college football, and it's a win for the Texas fans, as funny as that sounds. Now, what Steve Sarkisian said, I think, during SEC Media Days deserves to also be mentioned in this conversation. He said, we want to come into this conference, and respect's a word that we talk about a lot within our team. Respect is kind of the mantra for us. Respect the other teams, respect I'm kind of just going down the line here, paraphrasing and using a broad brush, but respect everything that the SEC is, and respect everything that we're signing up for as we get into this new conference that is let's call a spade here, the best in college football. But at the exact same time, Texas is going to make sure that you respect them as well. They're going to demand some respect by nature of what they have on this roster, who they have at quarterback, who their head coach is. Like Texas, the entry point for them into the SEC, I believe, is at the number 2 spot. And depending on how Quinn Ewers translate from year 2 in the system to year 3 in the system, and how those portal additions at wide receiver translate for him and they get on the same page, like Texas will be a force in the SEC and in the national championship picture. So throw up horns down if you want to. It won't be a penalty unless it's some egregious taunting measure, and that pretty much goes for any hand signal you want to do, Texas or otherwise. But I'm just saying, Texas is not limping into this conference, as we all well know. So do whatever you want to do from a hand gesture perspective, but Texas, they're coming. Make sure you're locked in here. College football year-round for you. And that's great to do college football content during March and April and all that, but y'all, it's about to be time to have some real games being played. So make sure you're subscribed here. Follow me on the socials. Twitter, Instagram, at JD Pickell. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.